What's up, guys? I'm going to kill two birds with one stone in this video and respond to two comments and questions at the same time. So the first one is Richard asked, who's a Just Become Live member. I've seen you build these studies using Lichess. Can you show us the exact process from the start? Yes. And then I also got a question from Richie, who says, if you're looking for something against the French, have you looked into the Reti Gambit? And no, I don't remember having done that. So what I thought I would do is create a Lichess study on the Reti Gambit against the French and show you the whole process from the start. So the first thing that you need, you have to be signed into Lichess. Okay. If you create a study in Lichess and you don't have an account on Lichess, then how are you going to find it again later on? They need to attach it to a user. So you've got to be signed into Lichess, which is free and all good. And then you need to go to study. So go learn study, and that will bring you to this page, which is probably, all the studies. And if you want to go, you can click new study here and create a brand new one if you want. Okay, so it starts Ben Hunt study. Yeah. An alternative is that you can go to like Tools, Opening Explorer. And if you just want to have a fool around and say, well, you know, what is the Reti Gambit against the French defense? Well, as far as I understand it, it's this. Okay, so this is Horvitz attack, and they do this, and then you do this. And it's calling it here the Particular Gambit. But I've had a quick look at this page. Let's just check. E4, E6, B3, D5, Bishop, D2 takes us into the Reti Gambit main line. Okay, so maybe it's got another name. All right, and the main line continues DE, Knight C3, blah blah blah. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do it from here. Now, I'm still an explorer. This is not yet a study. Okay, so the most common move, what we set to, okay, let's set it to 1800 to 2200, because that's what I'm interested in. DE, and then Knight F6, and then minor lines, okay? So the most common is DE, right? And this is good, and you should play Knight C3 by the sound of it. Knight C3 is best by test. What does the engine say? Knight C3 is the only acceptable move. We've given up a pawn. Having said that, that pawn is not likely to survive the entire game. And they are almost certainly going to play Knight F6. This is good, right? And then Queen E2. Queen E2, again, the most played. Although G4 is also played. But Queen E2 gives us 53% against 42. We're also getting ready to castle. This seems fine. You can play Knight G to E2 as well. Or you can play D3. All of these are good. Best by test absolutely is G4. Let's see what the strongest players do here. Okay, again, yeah, G4 tends to work out okay for them, as does D3. D3 works out pretty well. Okay, so let's change that back. QE2 is played the most, and this is a move that I'm kind of building into more kind of openings. We've got now double pressure on this pawn here. It's only got one defender, and they're most likely to play their bishop to there, at which point G4 still does quite well. Still does well with only 30% win rate for black here after G4. G4 looks like a tricky one. Why does G4, like, should we throw it in and see what happens? I think we're kind of okay, because our king's going to head castling that way. I mean, the knight can't take. The computer disapproves. But the most common moves are H6 and castles. And if castles, 61%. Let's have a look down this line. Castle 61%. G5 or knight takes E4. G5 is most common. But bishop G2 also does quite well. Computer doesn't like it. Computer says G5. So, plow in with G5. They're going to play knight D5. And what do? H4 or long castles. h4 is the computer's recommendation. Long castles, yeah, well, no. Yeah. Okay, so knight takes e4 is the second, h4 is the first. So something like this, okay? Now, according to the engine, black is equal at this point, it's bang bang balanced. But if, hello, the most common move, knight takes c3, but this is not good because we have bishop takes c3. Okay, you've got my attention. Right, they're most likely to play f5, and we can still long castle, but gf6 en passant. Okay, bishop takes is the only move that is played. Then we can long castle or queen takes here. Okay, this is looking kind of interesting. Right, this is definitely not a French kind of setup. So there've been 3 games played at this level from 1700 to 2100s, and white has won 2 of them, black has won 1. Should we see the line through? Computer says queen takes. Okay, let's do that. But no games have been played to this. Okay, so much for our main line. But here's what you can do, right? So I've just done this on the Explorer. Now if I close this tab down, it disappears, and that's it. Right? I'm just messing around here. But I guess we've got ideas, you know? I guess we have got some ideas. Now what you can do is on this control here, this hamburger menu item here, this is where you've got your various settings, where you set your lines and all that kind of stuff for the engine. But you can also click study. So you hit the study icon here, and then, well, what do you want to do? Do you want to add it to an existing study? Well, here are all my studies, yeah, which is great. Or you can just hit create study for a new one, okay? So Reti, Gambit versus French. And who do I want to be able to chat? I don't mind who chats. And this is something, you know, let people browse freely. We don't want to sync it so that if I make changes, everybody sees the same thing. No. I want everybody to enjoy themselves. So here we go. It's created a new study. And here, the next thing I would do is drag that into studies, white, French. Okay, and there we go. So now it's in my list. And the other thing that you might want to do as well is to use the interactive lesson feature. Now this is set on a chapter by chapter basis. If you look at analysis mode here, set to normal analysis right now. Practice with a computer I've never used. I don't know how that works. Oh, hide next moves is pretty cool. So you can try and guess it. Oh, how does that work? Hide next moves, let's see. Right, so what is this? So if I make the first move, it's saying the computer lines here. E6, so it's showing them here, but I don't see, they're not hidden. They're not hidden at all. I can see them. They're all in grey. Okay, but I like the interactive lesson, so that doesn't make any sense to me. Interactive lesson, E6, and then you can give yourself comments here, and also for when you're doing it. So, for example, let's go into weird territory with the Reti. Okay, and now what happens is I can go here, and then if any other wrong move is played, you can give them a hint, right? Now you can create variations, okay, and a comment on the move when they make the correct move, which you don't have to do. Now, explain why other moves are wrong. The plan is to get our DSB onto the long diagonal, right? And throw the French player off guard. And that, you know, just like that, okay? And then this is the correct move. Hang on, no, that's not right. No, it is right, it is right, okay? So then they will do this almost all the time, 76% of the time, you know, and say, so the next move now is to fianchetto, right? So with this move, if they do it wrong, fianchetto, okay? So for example, and now when I go preview, let's go back to the start. What would you play? Well, I play e4. Good move. Let's go into weird territory with the Reti. Now, if I go something like this, there's the hint. You see, the plan is to get our dark. Oh yeah, I remember. That's the Reti. Yeah, okay. What would you play here? Let's do that. No, fianchetto, it says. Retry. Okay, and that's it. And there you go. What would I play here? Is it Queen E2? No, it's not Queen E2. See, I can't even remember. There you go. So I'll take off preview, and then let's do it this far. Okay. So knight c3, normal development, preparing to long castle, isn't it? Okay. So the move is knight c3. If I get it wrong, normal development, preparing to castle long. Okay. And then they will do that nearly all the time. And now we go ship QE2. There we go. Oh no, hang on. So this is where you do it. Now you can do there is a hint thing that you can add as well. Ship. Prepare to castle. Yeah, I like this. I like this kind of rapid development. I like having the bishop there. That's very unusual in the French. This is all good. Okay, let's carry on. They'll most likely do that. Yeah, most likely. And then our next move that we've got is actually g4. Okay, and so we're going to play g4, but if they don't do g4, start an early assault. Can't type. Up the king's side. Is it king's side or king side? I don't know. Okay, they castle, and we're going to g5. Gary, no. Yeah, so here you can give yourself the hint there at the bottom. Okay, and the move is this. Gary is making a nuisance of himself, right? And this is what's great. So we're going to finish this and I'll just show you how it pans out. So the most common move here, knight d5, is always played. And then what we're going to do is h4. Harry, support your buddy. Right, so we could do it there, or in fact, this is, I'll do it this way. So there's less of a hint, you see. So if they're down here in the comments, you will see that comment. So you can give yourself a little bit of guidance there. So what's the idea? What's the strategy? What's critical at this point? Harry, support your buddy. They take here. It's got to be bishop takes. Yeah, I mean, d takes is also playable. Engine likes d takes. And in fact, d takes has been played once. And it keeps the bishop in there, but then it also traps the bishop in there. Now the computer says b takes, okay? So, yeah. Well, we don't even really need to comment on that. They play this, and do we take en passant? We do. We could say like capture here, whatever. And we really are. So look at this, doubled and isolated king's pawns now for white. And they do this, and our final move in this sequence is free stuff. I'll just put free stuff in the comment. So now we'll see how this works, okay? So I'll go back to the start with a rewind button, hit preview. What would I play? Let's see if I can remember. Okay. Let's go into weird. So the octopus is now talking to me. Okay. What would you play? I do this. Good move. What would you play? Okay, normal development, getting ready to long castle. They do the same. Put the queen here. Okay. Oh no, we're not long castling yet. We're going, Gary's going mad. And there we go. And then they take, and we take with the bishop. Okay. Capture en passant. Really messing up his pawns. We now have a face-off between the bishops. So, Okay, we take the pawn. Interesting. Is he going to take? Well, we don't know. But yeah, it's definitely a unique approach against the French. I like it. So there you go. Little end-to-end thing for... So if we go like learn study here, and instead of all studies, which is the default, I can go to my studies, my public studies, my private studies, and there it is. Ratty Gambit against the French is right there. Okay, so I can just click on it anytime. But I like to leave... I have mine organised now in a bit of a repertoire here. And I think that's it. But any questions, guys, about how to use this tool? I think it's fantastic. I personally think it's the best training tool that I've used so far. But if you've got any questions, let me know in the comments. Other than that, thanks for watching. See you all soon.